Concrete actions to stop chemtrails, HAARP, and to prevent runaway Arctic methane venting. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Just pick one or two ideas and see what you and your friends can do. Chemtrails and HAARP, ionospheric heaters, are being used to hide the runaway heating in the Arctic. As the Arctic melts, vast amounts of methane will be released, causing extreme heating of the Earth and mass extinction of all species. Therefore, these secret weather warfare programs must be declassified so the best scientists can work to stop the Arctic heating. That is the purpose of this video, to take the first steps toward declassifying chemtrails and HAARP. November 2013. Temperature anomalies. The eastern USA was very cool. The Arctic was very warm. November 2014. Temperature anomaly. The eastern USA was very cool. The Arctic was very warm. Concrete actions to stop chemtrails, HAARP, and to prevent runaway Arctic methane venting. Chemtrails and HAARP, ionospheric heaters, can be exposed by civil actions. Activists have been controlled in the past to prevent any concrete actions from getting started. This video tells how to take control over these programs using our legal, moral, and ethical power. We can and must stop the spraying of poisons in our skies. Chemtrails started as a scientific program to slow down runaway global warming. Search on air pharmacology, Jim Phelps, to read the original documents. Billionaire gangsters took over the program to increase profits and accelerate population reduction. The steps in this video will force the gangsters to stop their involvement with chemtrails. After the criminal element is removed, the entire chemtrail program can be declassified. After declassifying, public scientific consensus can stop or modify the chemtrail and HAARP programs as needed. Southwest corner of Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. Over 600 covered hopper railroad cars are visible when you zoom in with Google Maps. This is the chemtrail final mix plant for Tinker Air Force Base airborne tankers. To end the manufacturing of chemtrail spray mixtures. Compare chemtrail rainfall tests to coal ash metal residues. Search YouTube, chemtrails or coal ash. Locate all coal ash processing plants and post the list online. Investigate coal ash reprocessing plants to see which ones are providing the chemtrail base mix. List which plants reprocess the most coal ash but don't account for where the processed ash is shipped. Map all railroads and see which ones travel to a USAF or private airfield on a regular basis. Personal note to the NSA, I made this video because my images of coal-fired power plants were deleted from my hard drive. I spent hours capturing images from Google Maps, and my time was wasted. Also, I'm being hacked by the NRO in Chantilly, Virginia. This is a plant in Arizona, but I don't know which one since my coal plant folders were deleted. How do you like this video, NSA? This is a coal ash loading area at a typical power plant in Arizona. Notice the smoke has been photoshopped to hide the pollution. And why are the smokestacks not parallel? Two different images were merged. What are they hiding? To end the manufacturing of chemtrail spray mixtures, use high-definition, motion-activated digital video recorders to record railroad car numbers as they leave coal ash plants and arrive at airfield destinations. Look for more processing plants at the airfield destinations like Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. Identify companies supplying chemtrail metals, polymers, and spray equipment for jets. Investigate which companies are transporting, handling, or processing the chemtrail base mix. Personal actions you can take. Don't buy electricity from any utility that burns coal to generate the electricity. Install your own solar or photovoltaic panels instead, which are now very cheap. Buy a backyard chemtrail collector using plastic sheeting and wooden frames to collect laboratory quality rainfall, snow, and dust samples. Start a neighborhood chemtrail and HAARP education group to share information and test rainfall samples. Use your public access cable channel to start several chemtrail HAARP talk shows which are geared toward concrete actions in your local area. Start a YouTube channel or internet talk show to discuss and promote concrete actions in your local area. Share lists of disinformation trolls so other researchers and activists can easily identify and block disinfo agents. Measure radiation and chemtrail fallout with personal alpha-beta probe Geiger counters, and even better is the gamma scintillation spectrometers, which you can build yourself. Measure deadly ultraviolet, UVB, and UVC levels in your area and share your results on YouTube. Measure the pH of your rainfall. Keep a logbook and compare the pH to the amount of chemtrails that were sprayed upwind of your location. This is the simplest, easiest way to prove the chemtrails are falling in your area. Buy a quality microscope and HD USB camera to upload YouTube videos of chemtrail fibers and nanoparticles. Locate ground-based ionospheric heaters using Google Maps and portable microwave detectors such as the Coronet electrosmog meter. Monitor operation of ground-based ionospheric heaters to prove that they are controlling the weather. Use extreme low-frequency antennas and PC-based spectrum analyzers, which you can purchase both of those for about $100 total, or directional microwave detectors. Publish your UV, pH, and other measurements in the local newspaper online and write up a scientific paper. Write editorials for the local paper, naming state and local officials who will not listen to the evidence. This could be very powerful. Always carry a camera to take pictures of chemtrails. Buy an astrophotography camera mount to attach any digital camera to any telescope or spotting scope or most binoculars. Avoid supporting anyone who is claiming NexRad radar controls the weather. These disinformation agents have been given the job of hiding the weather warfare capability of United States Air Force chemtrails and the U.S. Navy ionospheric heaters. Avoid supporting anyone who doesn't offer concrete action plans. Beware of activist websites where the only get involved action is to link back to the same website. Sincere people are given the runaround until they lose interest. This type of gatekeeping prevents any effective action from getting started, year after year after year. Don't search for a hero on the internet. You and your neighbors are the heroes you've been waiting for. Use social media to build a community action team for brainstorming and moral support. You must be able to easily remove trolls and agitators. Create and fund community-owned and community-controlled research foundations in each town and city to investigate the local chemtrail toxins. Write a weekly chemtrails man-made weather column for your local newspaper. Following a guru is a mistake. The ruling elites know it is easy to control a few leaders, but very difficult to control the masses. So you can bet the gurus are controlled. Set up a network of ground-based measuring stations to detect HAARP weather warfare. Again, extreme low-frequency antennas, microwave antennas, and especially barometric pressure sensors can prove a HAARP downburst. Protest at United States Air Force bases or private airfields where the chemtrail jets fly from. Arrests are the best attention grabber and provide the basis for follow-on lawsuits. Arrests will increase awareness and community support. Use mass media approaches like scripts for television shows. Create a chemtrail danger index, CD versus the UV index, As a warning of the amount of chemtrail toxins in the air, websites should post the daily CDI for their city. Community watchdogs should announce when it is dangerous to breathe the air and could suggest a strike whenever the spraying poses a hazard to human health. Entire cities, states, and countries should exercise civil disobedience, stay home and go on strike if the air is unsafe to breathe. This form of protest has worked in India, South Africa, Denmark, Poland, and it will work worldwide if we use it. Legal actions. Use California CARB clean air regulations to begin a legal attack on chemtrail toxic fallout. File a class action lawsuit against the EPA for lack of enforcement of the Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Acts. Create common law grand juries in your county, city, and state, and issue arrest warrants for chemtrail pilots, engineers, managers, and coal ash processors, and distributors. These arrest warrants are enforceable domestically and internationally, and will haunt the criminals for the rest of their lives. Use common law procedures from itccs.org, which have been proved to be a legal threat to the ruling elites. Most steps in the chemtrail process have been quietly legalized over the last 20 years. One example is the December 2014 EPA ruling, which classifies coal ash as a non-toxic material, requiring no shipping records or special handling. Coal fly ash is treated like sand by the EPA, so spraying it from jets may be legal. This is why multiple lawsuits are needed. Find the illegal steps in the coal ash to jet spraying process where law enforcement can be used to stop the entire process. File lawsuits against state regulatory agencies for not regulating coal ash hazards, reprocessing, transporting, and aerosol spraying. File lawsuits against state regulatory agencies for not testing and regulating chemtrail airborne toxins. File lawsuits against the companies processing the coal ash into chemtrail base mix. File lawsuits against private air bases which support the chemtrail tankers. Lobby the ICC to investigate coal ash processing plants in the U.S. and in Europe. Lobby the ICC to create a new area of criminal law, aggravated battery by toxic chemical. In any prosecution for aggravated battery by toxic chemical, the aggravator would be the toxic chemical used against individual victims. There currently exist provisions in federal and state criminal laws for prosecutions of individuals using poison to inflict harm on their victim. So this is just an extension of existing law. Lobby the ICC to prosecute the weather warfare program managers and propagandists, Ken Caldera, David Keith, etc., under the Rome Statute on Genocide. Lobby the SEC and FBI to issue arrest warrants for insider trading on Chicago Mercantile Exchange and other weather futures and options contracts. Provost marshals in the U.S. military must arrest and prosecute treasonous, profiteering USAF generals and U.S. Navy admirals and their subordinates for violating their oath of service to the American people. Investigate coal ash processing companies, file lawsuits, and prosecute executives in charge. Prosecute executives at coal ash processing companies for aggravated battery by toxic chemical, etc. Recruit attorneys who will file lawsuits pro bono at no cost in every city and state. Build a nationwide database of attorneys who are willing to file chemtrail lawsuits. Teach the public to file their own lawsuits pro se at no cost. The only cost is the court filing fee. Teach the public to execute their own lawsuits and demand private coal ash reprocessing information is provided to the court as part of every lawsuit. File FOIA requests with EPA and Department of Transportation and state agencies to find out who is producing the coal ash, where the coal ash is being processed, who is shipping it, where it is being shipped. Government actions. Demand EPA tracking and accounting for all coal ash. Start recall elections for congressmen who refuse to regulate coal ash or refuse to investigate or stop chemtrails. This is the most important thing that we can do. And starting a recall election for a congressman is just starting a petition in your local town. Anyone can do it. Start recall elections for state officials who refuse to regulate coal ash or refuse to investigate or help stop chemtrails. Another important thing. Start civil lawsuits against local officials who refuse to regulate coal ash or refuse to investigate or help stop chemtrails. If your state leases an airfield to a suspected chemtrail sprayer, lobby your state to cancel the lease. If your state officials refuse to cancel the lease, begin a recall campaign or run for office yourself. Thousands of chemtrail activists must run for local, state, and federal office. This is very important. Use petition websites to set up, promote, and coordinate recall election voter lists. Do private exit polls on election day to prove election fraud. File lawsuits against election officials who prohibit exit polling or who help to conceal the election fraud. File lawsuits in your state to end the use of Diebold Gems, ES&S, and Sequoia electronic voting machines. Use raw exit poll data from Roper Center to prove election results do not match the exit polls. Financial actions. Publish percentage of electricity generated by burning coal for every electric utility company. Boycott electric utilities with the highest coal usage. Investors should sell the stocks of coal-burning utilities due to the liability of supplying chemtrail-based material. Largest shareholders of coal-burning utilities should be made public for criminal investigation and possible prosecution. It's because they know of this revenue stream. Protest at coal-burning utility stockholder meetings to inform them of upcoming lawsuits and of liability for supplying the chemtrail base mix. Scientific actions. Study hydrogen fluoride from coal burning and how it increases methane in the upper atmosphere. Again, refer to the Jim Phelps Air Pharmacology document. Study the fact that the extreme cold of the polar vortex in the United States is simply a way to break down the hydrogen fluoride from Midwest coal-burning plants over the sunny Atlantic, south of Bermuda, in the dead of winter. The barren ocean regions must be fertilized with soluble iron to remove 1,000 times greater an amount of CO2 from the atmosphere. Any delay in this fertilization program means the death of the entire planet. Fertilize the Arctic Ocean with tungsten and other trace metals to feed the methanotrophic methane-eating bacteria and break down the methane before it reaches the atmosphere. Until an international public scientific review is done, all chemtrails should be stopped worldwide. Use solar radiation management over the Arctic Ocean, but only in summer to prevent complete melting. Find a trustworthy private lab to test all chemtrail rainwater samples and make the test results public. Publish all past and current chemtrail laboratory tests. This proves the coal ash source. Get laboratory isotopic measurements to determine which coal mines are the source of the chemtrail base mix. Recruit chemical engineers to find out all chemicals used to reprocess the coal ash and track those chemicals. Where are they produced? Where are they going? Recruit university students to measure the local UV level with calibrated equipment. Set up laboratory tests which correspond to local UV levels to determine if the measured level of UVB is killing the local plants and animals. Set up laboratory tests which correspond to local aluminum and barium levels in the water and soil to determine if the measured level of aluminum and barium is killing the local plants and animals. Set up a network of ground-based measuring stations to detect HAARP, again, ELF with spectrum analyzer and barometric pressure sensors. Collect and store all ground-based measurements in duplicate public access websites so that if one site gets hacked, the data is not lost. Present chemtrail rainwater tests to the American Geophysical Union meeting. Again, it proves the toxic metal mix and how similar it is to coal ash. Protest chemtrails and HAARP at the next AGU meeting and all other geoengineering conferences. Speak at the next AGU meeting to present latest chemtrail test results and prove the source material is coal ash. Take video of the next AGU meeting to inform about new spraying programs, which are now happening. Climate scientists must add these effects to their climate prediction computer models. The accelerating Arctic methane release must be added to the computer prediction models, and then they must also publish the updated global warming predictions, as frightening as they'll be. The vertical mixing action of HAARP, which destroys the ozone layer and increases deadly UVB, must also be added to the models. The death of the ocean's phytoplankton, which is caused by increasing UVB from HAARP use, must be added to the models. The man-made effect of HAARP induced high pressure in the jet stream, and the corresponding control of the jet stream must be incorporated into the models. The man-made effect of chemtrail-induced capping inversions and the droughts they produce must be put into the models somehow. And we see these every single day if you're in a droughted area. Global goals: remove the genocidal elites from power so these solutions can be effective. Replace the fraudulent financial system, which has the goals of genocide, ecocide, and suppression of truth. Provide health care and family planning for every country in the world to discourage large families. Coal burning is a con game designed to kill the planet and keep the elites in power. Stop burning all coal to remove fluorine from the air and to deplete the chemtrail source material. Track and monitor coal ash stockpiles worldwide to prevent reprocessing into chemtrail base mix. Parametric resonance, free energy devices can power your home with no CO2 output. Manufacture billions of carbon-free energy sources and sell them very cheaply. Quantum electric generator and low-energy nuclear reactions are two examples. Release easy-to-build plans of proven free energy devices which can provide all the power for a household. Sell millions of free energy parts kits so anyone can build their own carbon-free power source. Install water heaters, solar water heaters, wind turbines, and solar photovoltaics on every rooftop in the world. There is no Planet B. This is not a rehearsal. The Earth is not dying, it is being killed, and the people who are killing it have names and addresses. Last words. The goal is to provide enough political inertia so the good guys can move all these classified programs into the public domain. Only after the chemtrail and HAARP programs are declassified can open scientific discussion decide if the programs are needed or if they are harmful. The first step is declassification, and the more pressure we can put on the insiders, the quicker it will happen. Chemtrails may suddenly end when the billionaire owners of the coal-fired power plants learn that prosecutors and government regulators are about to arrest them. These are the goals we must work toward. So forward this video to scientists, activists, attorneys, and government regulators. Thank you. Get involved. Complaining does nothing. They love it when you complain. It's free intel for them. If you don't help, nothing will get done. Stand in your power exercise that power. Thank you for watching.